Welcome to the Godot BootCamp lesson on how to integrate a leaderboard into the game's heads-up display. Right off the top, this lesson is completely optional. We are not implementing any new brainCloud requests. We are simply going to use the leaderboard data that we receive from brainCloud and display it in-game on the heads-up display. The code in this lesson is pretty specific to the example game as well, but perhaps you will find it to be of some use. We'll start this lesson off in the HUD infocontrol.cs file. This class is responsible for formatting and scrolling through the displayed text on the heads-up display. Declare an overloaded init method that takes in a leaderboard entry object, the position, and a callback object. In the body, we'll invoke another init method, passing in the formatted leaderboard entry data. Save the file, and then navigate to the HUD.cs file. Scroll down and declare a public method called pushLeaderboardEntry. This method takes in a leaderboard entry object as the parameter. In the body, instantiate a temp HUD info control object from a prefab scene. Add the temp object as a child to the info control mask, then invoke the temp object's init method, passing in the leaderboard entry object and the starting position as the arguments. Invoke the push info control method, passing in the temp object as the argument. Save the file and then navigate to the game.cs file. Declare a private member variable called mLeaderboardEntryIndex and initialize it to -1. Scroll down until you find the next level method. Below it, we're going to declare a private method called displayNextHighScore. This method is responsible for checking the main leaderboard's leaderboard entries to see if there's an additional leaderboard entry that needs to be pushed onto the heads-up display. Safety check that the leaderboard has at least one entry, and if it doesn't, return out of the method. But if there is, push the next leaderboard entry object onto the heads-up display and decrement the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable by 1. In the event that the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable is equal to 0, that means that the user's time is higher than all the other leaderboard entries, and instead we'll push a notification that the user has the all-time highest score. Scroll up a few methods and find the prepareLevel method. In the if statement that checks to see if the game mode is endless, there's a to-do comment. Delete the to-do comment and in its place get the main leaderboard and verify that the leaderboard has at least one leaderboard entry. Set the mLeaderboardEntryIndex to the leaderboard's count -1. Then push the main leaderboard's last leaderboard entry onto the heads-up display. Scroll up and find the process method. About 3/4 of the way down this method, there's an if statement that checks to see if the game mode is endless. Delete the to-do comment. First check to see if the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable is not -1. If it's not -1, get the main leaderboard. Safety check the main leaderboard. Then invoke the leaderboard's getLeaderboardEntryAtIndex method, passing in the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable as the argument. Safety check the leaderboard entry object, and that the elapsed time is greater than the leaderboard entry's time. If that condition is true, invoke the displayNextHighScore method. Save the file and then compile the code. If the code compiles successfully, open the Godot editor. Run the game. From the main menu, click Endless Mode. Notice that the leaderboard entries are now displayed at the top. When the player's time passes the current leaderboard entry, it will rotate to the next leaderboard entry. And if the user's time exceeds that of the number 1 leaderboard entry, then a notification will scroll up that they now have the number 1 high score. The ship has exploded and the game is over. Our score was successfully posted to brainCloud. You may be wondering why a new leaderboard entry was not added. That's because this style of leaderboard only allows 1 entry per user. If you want multiple entries per user, consider using an arcade-style leaderboard for your game. How to set up global entities is the next lesson in the Godot BootCamp.